Welcome to Cellmates. We are a podcast that takes two animated feature films and compares, contrasts, generally Venn diagrams them, and we do this as a pair, generally speaking.
Sí.
My name is Kate Phillips.
Me llamo Dick Ward.
Así.
Yo estoy
Sí.
y un estudiante de Duolingo.
Muy bien en español. Muy bien.
Legitimately proud.
He's been practicing every day for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, a couple weeks now.
You've been a Duolingo scholar
Sí.
with your tracksuit parrot or owl or whatever he is.
How do I say couch?
Sofa.
Mi sofá es mi escuela.
Sí.
Spanish.
Muy bien.
So now that we've established that,
Yeah,
we're doing
now we're-
Coco
we are by- we're-
and Three Caballeros.
It's a presidential debate over here with the amount of Spanish being spoken.
Topical!
Boom.
Yeah. Hey, Kate, I have a
yeah.
question for you.
Yes.
You like hats?
I'm mad about hats. So, Dick, I'm looking at a drink
That's
in
true.
front of me that might as well be speaking to me.
Yeah.
Or you made these drinks. It would have been really nice if the foam did this, but I think I see it anyway. I think my drink says, drink me.
That's true.
What about yours?
It says eat me?
Oh, well, that's
I think it's just insulting
confused.
me. Yeah. I think it just doesn't like me.
So let's hope that we're still the same size for our microphone and headphone equipment.
Yeah. Before we drink this drink, I would like to explain that this is a drink called the White Rabbit.
It's late for a very important
Time.
podcast.
Yes. It's called the White Rabbit. It is made of cream and bourbon and honey.
Yeah.
And it sounds like I say those ingredients and I'm like, oh yeah. And then I look at this drink and I'm like, oh
It's
no.
very white. I mean, it lives up to its.
Oh,
this
I forgot to garnish it with nutmeg.
That's
There's
probably
supposed to be
fine.
a sprinkle of nutmeg.
And then it
on
chokes you. No thanks.
Yum.
It's basically like eggnog without the egg, right?
How's it smell?
Like ice cream.
Like it needs some nutmeg.
No, it actually smells like vanilla ice cream.
Okay, and now
All right.
Now I'm more excited about this drink.
Now.
So we're gonna try this. We've been waiting until we are on air to try this drink.
I think the doorknob is telling us it's time.
Oh.
Right?
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's
okay.
go. Ready? Here we go. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's actually pretty okay.
I'm not tasting the dairy as much as I thought I would.
It tastes like melted ice cream with a little bit of bourbon in it.
Yeah, melted bourbon ice cream.
Great. I'm into this drink.
Yeah, this is great. So
And it's of course called the White Rabbit because we're doing the Matrix, where of course Neo follows the White Rabbit, which is actually just like a tattoo, but he says he's like following the White Rabbit.
One pill makes you.
One pill makes you forget, and one pill makes you a men's rights activist. Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah. So we're talking about movies of wonder.
Yeah.
Movies that make us wonder.
Did somebody say wonder?
We're doing two adaptations
That's
of
true.
Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. I guess universe. There are multiple books.
Yeah. The Wonderverse.
The Wonderverse. Ooh, I like
Yeah.
that. So we're doing Disney's Alice in Wonderland from 1951.
Probably the lesser known Alice.
Probably the least known, the most obscure Alice in Wonderland representation of all time. And we're also doing the Care Bears Adventure in Wonderland, 1987, theatrically released.
That's technically true.
And we have to give a giant shout out for this episode to friend of the podcast,
Canada, who is the country where the Care Bears movie was animated. It was one of the first movies by this production company whose name I've forgotten.
Friend of the podcast, Canada, but also friend of the podcast.
They also made the X-Men cartoon. They made like the Raccoons, of course, and Today's Special, some of my favorite shows growing up. So shout out to Burt Raccoon of the Raccoons.
A friend of the podcast, Rachel Vickers.
Thank you,
Hi, Rachel. Sent us. So every week we say, go email us on Cellmates Podcast. But
at gmail.com.
we don't get paid for this. We have access to this email address, but sometimes we forget. I'm pretty good at the social media side of it. But anyway, so we opened an email that we're 2 weeks late to getting to.
Sorry.
And my friend Rachel, we went to college together, sent us an awesome email. She basically produces the show now.
Yeah.
Because she sent us like 35 ideas.
Yeah, season 2 is in the books.
It's all Rachel. And a lot of good ideas, some of which we had already talked about, either individual titles or some pairs.
And then some stuff we'd never heard of.
Yeah, some like this, The Care Bears Adventure in Wonderland.
And I've been pushing the Care Bears movie
since
and
My Little Pony.
Care Bears movie too.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know about this.
This is the Return of the Jedi.
That's right.
That's what this is. It's the third one.
Is it true?
Yeah. Well, it's the third one.
Okay.
So anyway, it continues the Care Bear 1 and 2 saga.
Yeah.
By going with a completely different set of characters and nonsense.
This is the one where a brave Trunk kills Lion Heart and then takes off his mask, and it turns out he's really good inside.
And the pig is everyone's father.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Empire Strikes Back. That'd be in Care Bears 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Some of them are siblings and they didn't know it.
Is everyone's father.
Yeah.
That's a joke for all my Care Bears 2 fans out there.
Grumpsalot comes out of his cryogenic ice chamber.
All right, this is far too dumb. And Kate and I we made an oath at the start of this podcast that we would not waste too much time. And
you can't stand in the way of comedy, Dick.
I know, but
you can't.
But let's explain, because there's nothing people love more than hearing podcasters complain
about their environment that they can neither see nor experience.
Yeah, can anyone hear that noise? Whoa. It is hot. It is really hot in here. So we are podcasting from the bedroom for the first time.
Yes.
This is where the magic happens. Ooh. That's what they say on cribs. I don't know.
So there's an air conditioner in this room. It's the beginning of summer.
That's what I meant by magic. It's cooler in here.
It is cooler. It was when we had the AC on. We thought those effects would last once we turned it off. They did not. So, okay, in the interest of time, thank you, Rachel. We will probably be thanking you again on many more episodes because you have totally opened our world.
Oh my God, there's like a Hobbit song that orcs sing. Oh,
there's
my God.
There's a whole world of animation.
Changed my life.
That we need to explore. I'm very excited.
So speaking of animation, this is Cellmates Podcast.
What a
podcast
coincidence.
where we take two animated films, compare, contrast, and generally Venn diagram them. And Kate Phillips.
See, I did it for you. Can only do that when I do it first.
That's correct.
It's okay. It's fine.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, though. What was your first experience with Alice in Wonderland by the Disney verse company?
So,
Ration.
like a week ago, I would have told you that I saw this as a child, and it didn't make super big impression on me because I saw all the Disney movies. Well, watching it this week, I clearly have never seen the movie Alice in Wonderland.
There's a reason it didn't make an impression on you.
So it could have been that I was 2 or 3. I do, the only memory I have is that I did in fact see it. What I think happened is I saw some of the songs on those da-da-da-da-da-da with your favorite Disney songs. Yeah. I think that's all.
Yeah.
Because there were entire sequences that I had never seen in my life before, entire songs that I'm like, I've never heard this song. It's been around for 70 years. I've never heard this song.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was interesting to compare what I thought this movie was to what it was. And I guess I shouldn't have been so surprised, but yeah, it was a different maybe genre than I was expecting, especially for the period of Disney animation it is released in. Mm-hmm. So that's my experience with the Disney one.
Nice.
Less than I thought.
Yeah.
To sum it up. What about you, Dick?
My experience with Alice in Wonderland is I'm pretty sure I watched it a bunch as a kid. It was really high on, like, when we did our Disney brackets poll, it was really high there.
Yeah, for me. Personal poll.
Weirdly, I also did not think it would be as high as it was. And I still think it's a really interesting Disney movie. And I know I like it more than a lot of people. It's not like it was critically panned when it came out.
Yeah.
And I think it's still...
And it did not do well in the box office.
Yeah.
Only later did it become kind of a cult classic.
Yeah.
And now it kind of stands up with the other ones.
It's kind of like the Walt Disney's Labyrinth.
Yeah, a little bit.
No.
But yeah, in terms of merchandising, it's all over, the parks and the stores.
So anyway, my experience was watching it as a kid, not having seen it for like 15, 20 years, and then watching it like Tuesday?
Yeah, a couple days ago.
So, yeah.
So I've got a timer ready. It says eat me. Because it's a cookie timer. I'm good at that. If it's just one story we're talking about, really good at the theming here.
You're good. You're doing great.
Anyway. Dick, are you ready to eat and
can I just
trip out?
Can I just tell the story of Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, you could do that too.
Okay, cool.
All right. And go.
Alice in Wonderland
Never heard it.
is not in Wonderland yet. She's sitting on a tree and like not paying attention to her studies, and she's got a cat, and it is like top tier Disney cat. It is an adorable cat. And she's like, yo, I wish I was in like some place that is mine and called Wonderland. And then boom, this rabbit is like, hey, I'm late. And she's like, oh, wait, you're not a normal rabbit. You're wearing a waistcoat. So she follows the rabbit, ends up falling down a hole, has to say goodbye to her adorable cat, ends up in this place called Wonderland where stuff is not what it seems. She eats a thing that says eat me and gets smaller, or maybe she drinks a thing that says drinks me and gets smaller. Anyway, she gets smaller, she gets bigger, she gets smaller, she gets bigger, she cries. Boom, she gets through this door. She's in the water. Oh, everything's crazy. And then she's on land and everyone's trying to dry out while they're still getting like hit by waves. It was crazy. Yeah, no, I see that cookie timer. I'm doing great. She meets a whole bunch of characters, including some crazy talking flowers, a caterpillar smoking a hookah, bunch of other stuff. The tea party. She meets a tea party. She goes inside of the rabbit's house and becomes a big lady. And then she becomes a small lady. And then she meets I'm getting there. She meets the Mad Queen of Hearts, and she plays some croquet with her, and it doesn't go super well because the queen tries to cut her head off, but then Alice is like, yo, I'm out of here. And the end of Alice in Wonderland.
She just left Wonderland?
Yep. Cookies are done. Cookies are done. Cookies are done.
Like she just like walked out of Wonderland?
She left the way she came.
Which was?
All the stuff I said, but in reverse.
Yeah, that is true.
I don't know. I don't know what else you want from me.
It's revealed to be a dream at the end.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Reveal, kind of like Wizard of Oz.
Okay, but if that was a dream, where did I get this drink?
Uh-huh. I wish there had been a moment like that at the end. Like, the movie literally ends. Like, it's like, wake up, Alice. She's like, oh. And then they walk off into the distance. Like, there's no, like, like, no weird thing like that where, like, oh, and you were there. Or, like, she sees a caterpillar. She's like, I know you can talk for real. You can't trick me anymore.
Cat.
Yeah, I
named
guess
Dinah. That is adorable.
It's not
top
Cheshire.
tier Disney cat.
Yeah, it ends pretty abruptly.
Oh man, I forgot to mention the Cheshire Cat. She meets the Cheshire Cat.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Got it.
You did mention the tea party that she meets, though.
Yeah, she meets a tea party.
At a tea party.
Yeah. I'm sorry. How many people are in your party?
Tea?
3 people are in your party. Cool. Can I meet this party of people? Yes, you can. That's valid English.
Okay.
I escueled you.
Anyway, yeah. So like Mad Hatter, March Hare, the little Dormouse, which is my maybe favorite character in this movie.
He's like almost as good as Dinah.
Drunk and doesn't give a shit what anyone else says.
Unless they say cat.
Says, oh yeah, he's afraid of cats. Yeah.
Or of the word cat. It's not clear.
Yeah. There's not. Yeah. Is there ever an actual cat to threaten him?
Well, Cheshire
Does he
Cat's
meet
there,
the Cheshire
but I don't
Cat?
think the Cheshire Cat's threatening him.
Not on this. Not
He's
on
just
screen.
hanging out.
Anyway, Dick,
Kate,
make an argument for this movie.
this movie's dope.
Say more.
It's really cool. There's like a bunch of crazy stuff happening. I think that's really fun. I think there's a lot of really great nonsense and silliness. She meets Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah.
There's just like a great cast of memorable characters that Alice interacts with, has little vignettes, and moves on. I think it's super fun and super weird, and I like that it is a little bit subversive in that like you've got like maybe a little bit of like there's just a little bit of like weird evil to everything. Not as much as I think would be better, but there's just like a little bit of unease with some of the characters. Not all of them, but some of them. I'm just like, you get that feeling of like, ooh, I'm in a Disney movie, but I might not be safe around this character.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's safety at any time.
Yeah. Like, I think, like, most villains, you're like, okay, I know. Ursula's not going to hurt me. But, like, the Wonderland characters, even the good ones, it's not really clear if they're safe or not.
Yeah.
So those are things that I like about this movie. What do you like about this movie?
Well... It was fun to see those sing-along songs again.
Yeah.
Or just the one. I think it was just Merry on Birthday.
By the way, Kate, happy unbirthday.
Happy unbirthday, Dick. Yeah.
Unless you're listening to this in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then happy birthday.
Yeah, then we do have July birthdays here. So this movie, I knew that it was going to be more episodic because the Alice in Wonderland books are very episodic, right? It's like a poem here,
I thought
a
you were
parable
just going to
there.
leave it there.
The books. So I knew it was going to be episodic. I didn't realize how non-plotted it was. Like I thought at least Alice being a character that looks like other Disney characters would like kind of have a through line of like something that a journey she's going on. And we talked after the movie that there are maybe some subtext going on, but at least the way it's presented, Alice is just the viewer for all of these scenes. Like she has one scene.
She doesn't have a ton of agency.
No.
She's along for the ride.
She is just along for the ride.
No.
And you can kind of, dig in and look for like implications of how she's grown, but nothing's explicit.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure if anything's super implicit. I think a lot of audience. I think it's a lot of Rorschaching.
And not for nothing. We as an audience are also along for the ride.
Yeah.
So we can identify with this character.
She's the proxy for us. But yeah, I just thought there was going to be a little bit more of a story, and there wasn't. And it was interesting because I wonder, like I did enjoy like the White Rabbit scenes. He's a fun character. I enjoyed the Mad Hatter. Like that whole tea party scene, super fun.
Yeah.
But I wonder, so it's like a chicken and an egg thing for me because I did not really enjoy much else. Like
you were not happy at the end of this movie.
Well, I was not happy. I was especially not happy like
at the beginning of this
movie.
like
20 minutes in where I'm like, I need to leave here. Because it was the walrus and the carpenter.
Yeah, Tweedledee and Tweedledum appear.
She's already met the White Rabbit.
And you're like, okay, fine, Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
Yeah.
And then
I know who they are.
And then they're like, cool, we're going to tell you a story. And then this story happens.
Well, they tell like one story without visuals, and I can't understand what they're saying. So all I'm getting out of it is honking sounds. That's fine. That's fine. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. And then they tell a story of characters that are completely unrelated to what's going on.
And it's animated.
It's
an animated parable, kind of.
And it's way slapstickier than anything else.
Super Looney Tunes,
which you do not care for.
I do not care for Looney Tunes.
We're gonna fix that. We're not gonna fix that.
I like them slightly better than Peanuts. I'll say that.
Whoa.
Peanuts is
okay.
At least there's something to watch in Looney Tunes.
I'm putting duck season, rabbit season on a loop for the rest of the weekend. Sorry.
So yeah, it's like slapsticky, and like you said, in a book, there's probably more like parable and like things to dig out of it. But I just felt the way it was presented really obscured any kind of moral or wisdom. I didn't understand what was going on. There were oysters. They got tricked. Then they got eaten.
That's what happened.
But so for every other scene in the movie, Alice is there.
Yeah.
And Alice is not there here. And I think it's so early on that like breaking that rule when I know other scenes that are coming with her in it it broke my brain.
Yeah,
and I had to recover.
You were not happy.
Yeah, I did recover somewhat.
We had to take a little pause break.
We did.
I
was getting Titan A angsty.
Yeah.
None of this makes sense. Like, why is this being shown to me?
I had to reassure you that a lot of things don't make sense on purpose.
So here's my chicken and the egg thing. Is that like I've literally, not before we watched this week, heard of the Walrus and the Carpenter. I've never seen their likenesses.
That's bizarre to me.
I've been to Disney parks. I've been to the Disney store. I had their sing-alongs.
But they're not Disney characters.
Well, they're not. I mean, I guess none of these are, if you're saying it that way. But
fair.
I've never even seen them. Like, I've not seen the movie The Three Caballeros.
Yeah.
I kind of know what they look like. Yeah. If you show me a picture, I'm like, I bet, if Donald's not there, I'm like,
two of them are in this movie.
They are. That is true. But and I recognize them in this movie. I'm like, oh, that looks like a Caballero.
Probably Pepe.
Yeah, there's the green one and the red one. Yeah,
and then the red one.
But there's movies I know that I don't know about, but at least I've seen the characters before. Yeah. I couldn't have told you a lot about the caterpillar, but I knew what he looked like. I knew that he was smoking a hookah. So the introduction it was this scene and then the one directly after it, that water scene with the Admiral Byrd or whatever. I had never seen any of those characters except for the Caballeros in my life. Because the Caballeros are in that scene. I think they're in the trial scene as well.
They're like in that scene, and they're in like the ocean scene. And
that it shocked me. But so here, going back.
Okay.
I don't know if I didn't like them because I knew everyone else, and so this seemed like trying to pull the wool over my eyes.
Why are you showing me this instead of Alice?
This isn't in the movie. What is this cut? Yeah. But also maybe there's a reason that they haven't survived when the Mad Hatter has, and that they've kind of become part of the Disney legacy.
That's entirely possible. I think part of it is the animation style is so
different. It is very different.
I will say let's just talk about that Admiral Byrd really quick. Mm-hmm. There's a guy in charge who's like, hey, if you want to get your head above water, you got to keep marching in this circle. And these guys are keep getting flooded. And he's like, no, it's going to be fine. Just keep marching in this circle. Mm-hmm. This leader who is dry and fine.
Because he's on top of a rock in the middle.
And just being like, no, you guys, this is what you got to do. Nothing?
Yeah.
You don't, does that not do anything for you? That's so interesting to me.
But it's not long enough for me to care.
Okay.
Tell me a Yertle the Turtle story, sure. But
Well,
where the whole point
you
is that.
stack them.
But okay,
You stack the turtles.
Yeah, I know.
That's your Yertle the Turtle.
But there's
story.
there are like multiple characters with names.
Sure.
Anyway, there's like a beginning, middle, and an end. I feel like at least these two scenes, there's kind of just an end. They're like it's like ba da ba ba da ba ba, but nothing has come before it.
Interesting.
So I'm not. I don't know. I'm not on board. I get.
Yeah.
I understand the metaphor.
You like your things to have a little bit more structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the other. Okay, Dick.
Kate.
Do you think the other scenes in this movie, the ones that people know better, do you think they have similar, like, here's your little moral of this 5 minutes? Like the tea party or when she, like, breaks the rabbit's house?
Maybe. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's worth thinking about. I don't know. Like, what's the moral of the tea party? I don't know. It's not your birthday.
I don't know.
It's not today. I don't know. It's interesting. That's a good question. I kind of see this movie as like when you're in your 20s and you're like, oh, this person could be my friend. Or this might be the kind of person I hang out with. Mm-hmm. Oh no, they're idiots. Let's move on.
Yeah.
You know, and the tea party, like, they're drinking tea, but they are very goofy, and that mouse is clearly sloshed.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, I could see that as like a, you know, hey, go out drinking for a little bit, and then maybe calm it down when you're 36 or so.
Yeah, I think there are definitely those threads to pick up through this.
But I think the characters are more fun.
Yeah.
They're more kind of Disney fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In those scenes, is that what you're specifically saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Kate, mm-hmm. Before we like dive more into this, I want to talk about something with a little more structure. I want to talk about the Care Bears.
Surprisingly. Yeah. I forgot we were talking about another movie.
Yeah.
To be honest.
We're going to talk about
We do this every time. We talk about more than one
now.
movie. But
this movie, one character is super well animated. The other character's fine. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. You're giving me a face.
What character is super well
animated?
Hat.
He's drawn at like 60 frames a second for some reason. He looks gorgeous. Not the Cat in the Hat.
The Cat in the
Shut
Hat?
Up, the Cheshire Cat.
Where are you? Oh, okay.
Zoobly Zoo. That's where I am.
Yeah, I guess so.
No, the Cheshire Cat is like super well animated. Everything else looks like a TV show a little bit. Yeah. But like, he's just great. He's just super well done.
Yeah.
But like, structurally pretty sound.
This one's got a plot.
A surprisingly fun movie.
It's got humor.
Wait, this one's got a plot?
This one does have a plot.
Could you tell it to us?
I sure could, but I'd like to know a little bit about... So, neither of us had seen this movie. This was a Rachel Vickers original suggestion. So, Dick, what's your relationship to Care Bears in general?
Let me tell you. The Care Bears movie, where the kid wants to be a camp champ, and then No Heart or Dark Heart, does something to make him camp champ. I forget the plot of it. Anyway.
I think the movie is Dark Heart. The series is No Heart.
The important part is camp champ. Is a phrase that is burned into my brain from watching that movie over and over and over again. Probably with my sister and my cousins. That rings a bell.
Yeah.
Aside from that, there's toys. I don't think I watched the show, but I definitely watched the movie.
So that's the only one I'm familiar with is the show.
Okay.
I forgot or didn't know that there were movies.
Oh, wow.
Because the show, I might be confusing this with Gummy Bears. Was Care Bears on Disney Channel as well?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Because there's a bear show that I remember, because you'd get those Disney Channel preview days, right? When it wasn't on basic cable.
Yes.
But that must have been Gummy Bears that we'd watch. So yeah, I'd seen a couple episodes of Care Bears. I generally thought it was pretty dumb. I didn't, all the bears and the cousins, the lion and everything, were all kind of like the same character.
Oh.
They were a little bit whiny. I don't know. Yeah. I just didn't get into it. And so what I was expecting with this movie was the My Little Pony movie that we watched a couple episodes ago.
So you expected an amazing movie. Full of great characters, wonderful songs, and Smoo and Flume.
Smoo and Flume. And,
Kate, get the Flume or get a room.
Well, I can get you the plot or get a lot of cookies. Anyway.
Plot a lot. That sounds like a Care Bear thing.
Cookie Timer says, eat me. Here I go. So Care Bears are in Care-a-Lot having adventures, and then a white rabbit shows up. And it's the Rabbits-a-Lot, his uncle, and his uncle's like, we gotta save the Princess of Wonderland. They're like, what are you talking about, new character? So then they
we gotta find Megan.
Hop around, and they take those cloud cars, and they find this girl named Alice, who looks like the kidnapped princess, and so they all. I'm not exactly sure how they all get wrapped up into this nonsense, but they all go into Wonderland through the mirror. They leave her cat behind, Dinah. And then they have to search to find the princess and also use her as a decoy. They don't super have a plan yet. Anyway, they get there. They meet a bunch of characters. They meet a caterpillar. They meet some dumb and dim twins.
Do they meet a tea party?
They don't quite meet a tea party, but they do meet some hats. Dick, do you like hats?
I'm mad about hats.
They meet the Mad Hatter. They meet a good queen. Anyway, so it's this wizard who has kidnapped the princess to take over the magic land. So they find the princess, but like they split in two. They find the princess, and then the other group has Alice pretending to be the princess, and like she's not really confident about herself, so she like doesn't think she can be a princess. But over time, she gains the confidence and gains the skills. Aww. It's a little like Princess Diaries. Anyway, they bring the princess back, and they kind of like switch places again. There's a princess test, and Alice basically passes it. But at some point, the real princess comes back to really pass it. That part's confusing. They all go back to the real Care Bear world, and they live happily ever after.
They just go back?
They just go back. They do. There's no dream. Right? They go back.
Yeah, how do they go back?
In Care Bear cars? Through the mirror?
Okay. I don't know. You asked me.
Well,
I thought it was fair to ask you.
It's a major reveal at the end of the movie.
So, two things that I think we need to address about this before we move on. One, we're going to talk more about this at the end, but Dinah, still pretty good.
Yeah, Dinah is Alice's cat in the real world.
Pretty good cat.
In every adaptation.
I mean, definitely the best Care Bear cat that I am familiar with.
Well, there is a Care Bear cat. The Care Bear cousins have a cat.
Don't care.
So there's the Care Bears. Yeah. They're all bears.
Right.
And then I think someone realized, it's really hard to tell these guys apart, even though they have different things on their bellies. So we're going to introduce the Care Bear cousins, and they're along for most of this ride.
The other thing I want to mention is that there was a time before kids' movies and shows were in any way like regulated, where you could just throw whatever trash you wanted to on the screen. And not to say that this was trash. It was not trash. But the moral seems to be that if someone commits a crime, then it's okay to commit fraud to get back
it's a good and evil situation, Dick. Like, all bets are off.
I mean, she's just
if three wizard kids are able to break into a bank, like, I mean, when you know who is threatening the existence of
No Heart?
Slow
Heart? Screw Eyes?
Screw Eyes.
Or New Eyes?
Well, so it is interesting because the moral, they do commit fraud. There's probably a couple crimes.
She basically passes.
She fools the mom.
Test.
She fools the queen. The queen is like, "Oh, my daughter is back." Like, what?
What?
Doesn't she fool the queen?
No.
I thought she fooled it, and then they explained it to the queen.
No,
the Queen covered for her.
The Queen knew.
Okay.
She was like, "Oh, cool."
All right. That makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, but they're just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna pretend to be the person taking this throne."
Yeah. So the moral is like
up.
everyone is a princess if you believe in yourself. You can be the special too. But
everyone's a hero in their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's like a missed opportunity at the end because it's like, you changed this flower into magic flower. Only a princess can do that. And then they're like, haha, we did switch out the real princess at the end. And then Alice gets to take a flower back with her to the real world. And I was expecting like something magical to happen. Like, Alice she has the qualities of a princess too. But kind of like in the Disney one, they just kind of drop her once she gets back.
She rides in a cloud car.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty magical. But it's not her.
She doesn't drive it.
It's not her that does it, yeah.
Anyway. So this was surprisingly good.
I really loved it. And I had never heard of it before.
I went into this thinking it was going to be... Like, we watched this first. I said, you know what? It would be unfair to this movie to watch the better one and then the worst one. Yeah. Right? Like, let's watch the crappy one for kids first.
And then the Disney one.
And then watch the good one. And...
Whoops.
I don't know. This was surprisingly... I will say, like, the artistry is not there. This looks fine.
It looks Saturday morning, and we disagree on this, and I'm a little confused at that. I think this looks a billion times better than My Little Pony.
Yeah, it looks better than My Little Pony.
Yeah, and I kind of expect the same quality.
Well, My Little Pony, remember, was made in like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it's still like you're still got like kind of herky-jerky animation that's not moving on a lot of frames.
However,
I don't think this movie looks bad, but I'm putting it out there. Like the artistry is not quite there.
Yeah, it's not Disney.
It doesn't even try to hold to the story of Alice in Wonderland. So if you're like a Lewis Carroll snob, like from what I've heard, Lewis Carroll snobs do not like Disney's Alice in Wonderland. No, they do not. But you will hate this because it's
just the character show.
There's a evil wizard or something. Like I assume that's not in any of the Alice books.
I don't believe so.
So it's kind of crazy pants that way, but it's surprisingly great.
It's humorous. The songs are really good. The characters are neat. Like,
can we talk about how this is a reverse Good Dinosaur though?
Say more.
The first 15 to 20 minutes, I hated.
Yeah.
Hated because there's songs that no one is singing.
Yeah, they're like narrating songs.
And it's just like oh,
they're Randy Newman's.
Yeah, it's like either Randy Newman's or like kind of unrelated. But yeah, like one of the songs is just like when they're searching for the princess, like, we're searching for the princess, gonna find someone. Yeah, it's obnoxious. And then she gets into Wonderland and it just becomes a musical.
Yeah, it's like diegetic singing.
Characters sing instead of a Shrek style where like a song plays.
A song plays over
well, something happens.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as she hits Wonderland, this movie gets good. Yeah. It gets really good.
So, Dick, you had just mentioned that Lewis Carroll fans would hate both these movies. Oh. You've done a little bit of research into the original books, or have you read them? Or no,
the tiniest amount. I have a friend, Joel, who really liked Alice in Wonderland. So basically, everything I know about it, I know because Joel has told me.
So what do you know about the books?
Well, a girl named Alice. Goes to Wonderland. I know. So what I know, and what I believe people dislike about the Disney one is that the Alice in Wonderland books are not slapsticky and goofy. They are nonsensical. I think the genre is called literary nonsense. They are like in their own ways nonsensical and more of that like kind of uncomfortable, like not dark and gritty, but like
it's like wordplay and like
a lot
sentences that literally don't make sense.
Yeah, and the humor is not in like a character falling down and making a boing noise. It's in the absurdity. I compared this when we were talking about it. I compared making a movie out of this to be like making a movie out of a Terry Pratchett book, which doesn't specifically have jokes in it.
No.
Like there's jokes, but there's a lot of plays on words.
But did you know that Terry Pratchett is very clever?
Yes, I did, and I love it.
Do you get that sense that he wants you to know? Very clever.
Yeah, I do get that sense, and I love it. I'm sorry, I love Terry Pratchett. Can't help it. I think he's great. Did you get the sense that Neil Gaiman wants you to think he's
also very clever,
quirky, clever, but also Neil Gaiman's great. So
this, I think I would hate these books. Like I know that based on what I know, because
based
like
on your reaction to the movie, you would hate
to
these
probably
books.
the part of the movie that adheres best to the book.
Yeah,
books, because there are two. Yeah, and I guess the nonsense doesn't super appeal to me. Like, make it Fantasia or one of those like package movies that Disney used to do when it was like they didn't have money because it was the war. And that's one thing. Like, great, these are just a bunch of unrelated things. But when like Alice is in most of it and she's trying to get back home, it's like a tease of a story.
Yeah.
And to me, it might be more successful if there wasn't that tease at all, because then I'm constantly like
searching for it.
Yeah, and maybe that's part of the point. Maybe that's part of the nonsense. That it's just absurd. It's not a linear story. It's not how life works.
So we've talked a little bit about how these movies are different.
So Lewis Carroll fans would also hate the Care Bears.
Sure.
But I think for different reasons, right? Like, why did Lewis Carroll fans not like the Disney one? Because to me, it is a bunch of nonsense. But
because I think they got the tone wrong.
Yeah.
Like I was saying,
it was Warner Brothers-y.
There's a lot of fall down, go boom.
Yeah.
And that's not where it's supposed to. From my understanding, I could be wrong. Lewis Carroll fans, feel free to at me.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, hi.
Yeah, whereas Care Bears, like you said, it's just a linear story. Like, these characters appear, there's not really nonsense at all.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, yes and no.
There are some weird situations.
Yes and no, yeah, but like more importantly is just like, we're the Care Bears, we are encountering these things.
Right.
Like, it doesn't pretend that it is a retelling.
Right.
It's just like, here's a thing for the Care Bears to do. Mm-hmm. The rabbit, caterpillar, tea party.
Guy who's mad about hats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna do my segue again. You ready? We talked a little bit about how these movies are different. In what ways are they the same? What do they share in common?
So, the Wonderland characters, there is a lot of overlap. White Rabbit, Mad Hatter, Caterpillar, Cheshire Cat, some kind of queen. Dinah, Alice. Like the flamingos. There's iconography that is similar.
There's a lot of similar thingies. Yeah.
I would also say that they both use some animation tricks that are unexpected for the time and place in their release history for both studios.
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland does a lot of like trippy things, like the caterpillar smoke letters.
Yeah.
It's very, this comparison is a common one, that it's kind of borrowing from the Dumbo's Pink Elephant on Parade sequence, or you see it later in Heffalumps and Woozles. It's just like Disney goes crazy. Just all these proportion weirdness and colors and neons. And
that scene in particular reminds me of the Phantom Toll Booth, a partially live action, partially animated film that just gave me the heebie-jeebies as a kid.
Yeah, I think the Cheshire Cat is cool too. They make him disappear and reappear in the Disney one. That's neat. Care Bear had a surprising amount of like neat animation risks.
Okay.
That I saw, especially for something that I guess I know more as a Saturday morning cartoon. It did some cool, like that checkerboard scene with the robots.
Oh,
there was like some like not 3-dimensional like CGI, but like neat things with perspective, and the checker field itself was cool. They did some cool. Now I'm forgetting everything.
I'll tell you one thing that I really like in the Care Bears movie, and I brought this up before, is the Cheshire Cat.
Yes, he's cool.
Disney's Cheshire Cat is like the standard, right? Like he does awesome things where he like fades out or he like disappears and like stands on his head, does stuff that only animation can do. The Cheshire Cat in the Care Bears movie almost feels like he doesn't like belong in the movie. Like he's a little too well animated. Like maybe this is just me, but he just seems like he's better animated than the rest of the movie.
Yeah, his face seems more expressive. Like there's more muscles moving in his face.
Yeah.
He changes colors and textures and prints like almost continuously, which is cool.
Rules of animation.
Yeah, he does.
Like he moves, but like the background doesn't, and like interesting stuff like that.
Well, you were saying that it reminded you of a character who would appear a couple of years later in a Disney movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
The genie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like because he like kind of just breaks from whatever's going on.
Yeah.
And you don't mind because he's the character that can do that. Just like the genie, like they can do whatever they want with him.
And they're like animating the puns. He's got this fun rap that I thought was going to be terrible.
Oh my God, we thought it was going to be the baddie rap all over again.
Yeah. But it wasn't.
No.
It was pretty good. And it actually has some of the cadences of Friend Like Me, like lyrically.
You pointed that out.
It's like da 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 da. Yeah. Oh, like, oh, that's just Howard Ashman just took that
that's
later.
Friend Like Me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's you pointed out there's like a lot of Beauty and the Beast
in the Disney one.
Yeah. Never mind.
No, but both movies have these like kind of animation things that are ahead of their time that you would see later. In Alice in Wonderland, that doorknob looks it looks more this is not going to be a pun. It looks more polished than other hate that. But I feel like the lines are like thinner. It looks like a 90s animation.
Yeah.
So it's like weird to hear like a more 50s voice and recording coming out of it. It's like, because it looks like it could just be in the Beast's castle as an object, like the way the face is done, the way it moves. And I imagine that it was an inspiration for those animators. Yeah. The teapots, they don't have faces, but they move in a similar way to Mrs. Potts. There's another thing too. Oh, the cards. The Queen's cards are like very much like, that's the model for carpet in Aladdin.
Okay, I bet
that. The square, because their hands are the corners.
I feel like there was a carpet in... a carpet alike in the Care Bear.
In the Care Bear one too.
But I don't remember what it is. But
maybe
there's something
where the card people were in. I'm not sure.
But there was some like non-traditionally animate object that I was like, ooh, this is kind of carpety.
Yeah, it was just there were enough things in the Care Bear movie that just surprised me. Yeah. And like, okay, someone is caring a lot. Care a lot.
Someone cares a lot.
Yeah, the animators care a lot.
Is it Mike Rowe? Of Dirty Jobs?
What? Is he a Care Bear?
Well, the theme song of that show is "We Care a Lot."
Is it?
Yeah, we care a lot. And then the chorus is, "Well, it's a dirty job, but someone's gotta do it."
I've never heard the words "We care a lot" in that song.
Oh, well, it's a Faith No More song. It's off of their album Angel Dust. It's real good.
That's not a song written for Dirty Jobs?
No.
What?
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind here.
You're welcome.
Is it on the same album that Anything Alice sings in this movie is on?
Let's talk about the songs that Alice sings.
Well, so Another
Yes.
similarity, Dick, between these two movies.
What is... I'm going to say that despite being based on a book, they both turned into musicals. Now, the book has poems, and one of the poems... Poems? One of the poems in Alice in Wonderland, the book got turned into a song for Alice in Wonderland, the Disney movie, which is The Walrus and the Carpenter, which I know you love and you want to talk more about, but we can move on. But they're just musicals, for reasons. And Kate, I feel like going into this, you could have sung "Unbirthday."
Yeah.
I'm
I'm late for a very important date, but that's the only part of that song.
Let's talk about the first song in Alice in Wonderland.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember this song?
So, well, I do from Tuesday. It's, the old SNL sketch where it's the lounge singer, the Bill Murray.
Yeah.
And he adds words to the Star Wars. Yes.
Yeah.
Do. Star Wars. That's how this movie starts. Alice in Wonderland. She's not in Wonderland yet. You don't even know who Alice is. And they're singing just the title of the movie at you.
And they're doing a great job of it.
It's so dumb. And they sing it at the end, too, when she's no longer in Wonderland.
When Kate and I occasionally have like a dinner party or a after dinner party or whatever, we have people over, we'll put on some background music, and Kate will be like, I don't know, you put something on. I will always put on a Disney jazz album.
Jazz Disney. It's great.
Because, I know all the songs, and it passes for classy. And there's always one song where you're like, I don't even know what this is. And I'm like, it's Alice in Wonderland. You're like, no, that's not a thing.
Well, I think you're doing a Bill Murray sketch.
Yeah. You have heard the song over and over and over again.
That's
and then
not a real song.
When it happened in the movie, you're like, no, I thought you were joking.
What is this? I've never heard this song. No, you have.
No, I thought you were messing with me. Yeah.
There's that song. There's a second song, or a song she sings in the real world.
That's rough.
It's not about anything.
With
it's
the
kind
real world?
Well, no, not in Wonderland. No, she sings it to Dinah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, if
She's
I made a land.
Wishing,
yeah, it's like that, or
it's her
Somewhere
song
Over
about
the Rainbow.
Wonderland.
It's a bad I Want song.
Yeah.
Because I can't really understand what's happening.
It's
not as good as I Am Wishing.
No, it's not.
Or Over the Rainbow. Both I Want songs that have existed up to this point.
That's not fair.
No, but Disney has all the other ones.
That's fair. I went back to fair. It's not great. And then the song she sings in Wonderland.
Oh boy, when she's crying.
You have a
regular size tears.
You have a rule about music, and that I think it can apply to this, which is no stomp claps before the third chorus.
Yeah. Looking at you, Basic and Paul.
Basic and Paul.
Greatest
oh boy,
Showman.
Greatest Showman.
Every song starts with a stomp clap.
Yeah, you don't do the stomp clap until you need it.
You do the acapella stomp clap verse 10 seconds in. Why should I listen to the rest of your song?
That's the best part, always.
It's better on the soundtrack than in the movie. They take a little longer, but still a big musical.
But Alice is crying in this song and is sobbing tears in the first chorus.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting for number 3.
Yeah. She sings it once sad. And then the second time through, she's not singing melody because she's sobbing so hard. But she's crying in the first time too.
Yeah.
So
I never get a great grasp of what the melody is.
When here's the thing. If there had been some kind of plot in this movie, that moment would be earned. Well, here's the thing. If you're going to make it a nonsense, that scene does not belong in that movie. That scene does not belong in the movie that you like.
Yeah. It...
Because it's a turning point for her character.
I had forgotten that scene.
Yeah.
Honestly,
it's supposed to be this big, 11th hour moment in terms of, if you're thinking of a stage musical.
But it doesn't
And it
really
just doesn't
work.
hit at all because I don't care about her. I don't know what she's supposed to have learned and how she's failed at it. It's bad.
Let me ask you this: Are there any songs that do work for you in this movie? Like, obviously, you knew Unbirthday going in. You knew...
I mean, the songs I know are very short, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's just the choruses.
The flower song, did that work for you?
The flower song was fine.
Yeah.
Like, I was kind of over the concept about halfway through the scene.
Yeah, kind of. You kind of get it.
The flowers all have faces and personalities, and they do the Andrew Sisters kind of jam.
Yeah.
And the Cards sing a song, is that right? They're like another a cappella.
Painting the
like,
roses red.
a male
Painting
group,
the
yeah.
roses red.
I didn't care about the music in this movie.
No,
I
that's
mean,
fair.
none of it's supposed to be super... It's just, they're ditties, right? They're like the
kind
musical
of.
equivalent of nonsense
There's not
songs.
really a full song.
No.
Except
They
for
try-
Alice.
When they try to do full songs,
in
those are the bad songs.
Wonderland.
Those are the songs I don't care about.
Yeah.
Dick, you mentioned there's music in the Care Bear movie. Do you like any of the songs?
Okay, wait. Before we get to that one, are there any other songs worth talking about?
In Disney?
No. In Care Bear. There's one song that we are going to talk about a lot.
Oh,
in
are
the
there
Care
any
Bear
other
movie.
besides that?
Are there
so
any
there's the Cheshire Cat rap song.
Oh my God!
Which you think is going to be cringy, and then it's like quite good.
And he has two of them. Like
Yeah.
he comes back later.
Yeah.
And he just gives pretty good advice.
And at the end, he's got the credit song, and he
Yeah.
raps about the Care Bears. He's like the
he
first.
And Grumpy have the credit song.
He's like
and
the
it's
first
great.
Will Smith wrapping things up with a rap.
Yeah.
In the credits.
It really is.
Yeah.
Well, the Care Bears went over here and they did all this sort of stuff. He does
I
it
really,
better.
it's not Tone Loc, but that was your first that you're like, is this Tone Loc?
Yeah, 'cause
when he starts rapping.
It sounds like Tone Loc.
Our lives are forever changed by having watched Fern Gully.
Yeah, who you may know from Fern Gully and also
In
rap.
a different rap that's not as cringeworthy as it could be.
Oh, and it's
'cause
definitely
Tone Loc
better
says
than
it.
Betty Coda. That's great. I like that rap.
Yeah.
I think we watched it again because I was like,
Yeah, we did.
it's like, wait, this is surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Let's really pay some attention to this.
Yeah.
And the jokes were funny. There were a bunch of visual puns. Like he said split, and then he like split apart, like stuff like that. Like was fun.
But he is also setting up really the plot of the rest of the movie too.
Yeah.
So it is musical
He's
theater.
the exposition.
It has changed. The situation has changed from beginning of song to the end, where he says split. Your party should split up. One party go to find the real the real princess, and the other party pass Alice off.
And
commit fraud.
And the one party that goes to try and find the real princess, they encounter hats.
In the forest.
They're just like, oh, there's a hat, and one of them,
that's a pirate hat
one of
or
them,
an
like,
admiral hat.
Yeah, he puts on the admiral hat, and then he starts leading them.
His personality turns into an admiral.
Yeah,
like a chameleon. It's so clever.
And
it
then,
happens
like,
3 times. It's a rule of threes.
Yeah,
that pays off.
And I think the second one
is
one of the Care Bears like
or...
stands up, like he's like on the ground searching because he's like, oh, there must be another hat. He's on the ground searching. He stands up and accidentally lands his head in the hat.
Yeah.
And it's like a cowboy or something.
Yeah.
And then the third one, you loved this.
Well, this is another thing where I'm like, Care Bears, really? It's a dorky thing. So it's an in medias res scene that you come to it, and the Lionheart, Braveheart, he's
because he's Scottish.
He's in like a space helmet, and he's like, let's go explore the outer realms. Like he's already found the hat. You don't watch that happen. He's already in character.
It's a good joke,
and it's the 3, so you know what's happening. It's really funny, and that doesn't happen in TV cartoons.
No, but what happens after that is they've found all these hats.
They meet.
You know what character has a bunch of hats? That's right, the March Hare. No, the Mad Hatter. And he sings my new favorite song. It's my jam of the summer.
Is the song called You Like Hats? Is that the title of the song?
I think it's called Mad About Hats.
Mad About Hats.
But yeah, like he's doing his Mad Hatter thing and be like, whoop, 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 I'm goofy. And then he's like, you like hats? I'm mad about hats.
That's
Song
like
starts.
the chorus. It's this little Yeah, it's like a jazzy kind of number.
It's a jazzy. It is. I think actually closer to A Friend Like Me.
It is because every hat, like he just shows off all of his 50 hats, and he's a different personality.
He puts on a hat. He's like a sports guy. He puts on a hat. He's a girl.
Right.
Like it's.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm downplaying the movie by saying how surprisingly good this is.
Yeah.
Well, no,
we sat through this whole movie being like, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
Oh, this is really fun.
And this movie
this is hilarious.
Kept getting better. Like I said, it's a reverse good dinosaur. The first 20 minutes are like, ugh. And then it just turns into something really special.
Good dinosaur is so the reverse of that. Yeah, the scene is great. It's 1987, so a few of the hats are a little bit culturally insensitive.
They're not too bad. They're not as bad as they could be.
The sombrero is I don't want to see that again, but
yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. It could be worse.
It could be way worse.
But yeah, he how many times have I asked you if you like hats since we've seen this movie?
Lots. Like, we spent the entire next day, they were both work days for us, and, we spent the entire next day texting each other, like, you like hats? With various punctuation marks afterwards.
Yeah, it's such a fun song.
Yeah.
And, like, honestly, up until that point, I was enjoying this movie. After that, I was like, oh, I'm
on this movie's
I'm going to watch this movie again.
Yeah. Certainly, we have watched that scene a bunch.
I'm going to watch the Care Bears in Wonderland.
Sorry, the Care Bears Adventure in Wonderland.
My apologies. I'm going to recommend it to
definitely Joel. Definitely your friend Joel, who loves Alice in Wonderland.
I'll definitely recommend it to like my sister to watch with her kids.
Yeah. I think they'd like it too.
You can't not like the Mad Hatter is. I said after the film, Mad Hatter is the Joker of Alice in Wonderland. Like, even if Batman sucks, Joker's gonna be great. You can't do like Mad Hatter's great.
And it's really like, I guess he helps him after that. I don't really know what he does in that movie besides sing that song.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Yeah. I do. I enjoy. I guess what you're saying about like this movie becomes better and better is that maybe it's partly, and this is not, I don't necessarily dislike the Care Bears, but the Care Bears take more and more of a backseat to the distinct characters that are, borrowed from Lewis Carroll for this movie.
Yeah.
And I think that just becomes fun that they are kind of the straight man then. Because, like, they're just kind of looking at each other while this guy is singing about hats. That's funny to me that the Care Bears, like, aren't in charge. And they're like, this is nuts, right? This is a little weird.
As I think you may put it, the Care Bears meet a Chaos Muppet.
They do meet
right?
Yeah, they do.
The Care Bears have nothing in their experience to prepare them. They've
never met a Chaos Muppet before.
For, like, this crazy hat guy who doesn't seem like he's gonna hurt them, but also he doesn't act like anyone else they've ever met.
But the Cheshire Cat is that way too. They're all kind of standing there like, what's happening?
Like, like they are. We are like standing in their place, and kind of being like, whoa,
yeah.
It's.
But no Care Bear gets a big sobbing number in the middle of the movie.
No, Grumpy gets a rap at the end, but.
Well, because he's been hungry. Well, there's a through line. Grumpy has been hungry all movie. It starts with Grumpy. Grumpy's plot line is pretty much Winnie the Pooh, the 2011 Many Adventures in Winnie the Pooh.
We defined Grumpy early in this movie as a mixture of Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore.
Yeah. Which
was really frustrating. I hated Grumpy for the first 20, 30 minutes. I don't know if I ever liked him until that end rap.
Yeah.
But yeah, he took such a back seat that it was fine.
But he is talking about, like, I'm hungry the whole time. It's kind of, I don't mind as a gag.
At the end, he eats some food.
Yeah, at the end, he eats,
lots of food.
Bunch of food. So in terms of just an adaptation that here's my question. Why do you think the Care Bears chose Alice in Wonderland as their third movie, especially if they're not going to follow like the Lewis Carroll book?
Well,
like what I mean, obviously it worked out pretty well for us.
I think it's public domain.
And there we go.
I think
that's a good answer.
Already been like a lot of the work's been done for them. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, like some of these character designs or some of these characters, like they've been animated before. We could figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
We've seen it done.
I mean, the Cheshire Cat's face is the same shape as
it's
the
pretty
Disney
similar,
one,
but with sunglasses.
It's got
on.
shades, yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I do wonder, like, maybe that is because the Mad Hatter looks a little bit similar too. Like, it's not Disney-fied, but
yeah.
I wonder how much of that is it's already been done, and maybe it's described in the book as
and
that, like
there
a short man with big ears.
I believe Lewis Carroll approved illustrations.
Oh, right.
I was reading something about it.
Yeah.
And I apologize that I don't remember what it was, but I
Because
believe
the original book is illustrated, like that old timey book illustrated, where it's like every 50 pages
or something. Yeah. But yeah, I believe Lewis Carroll like worked with an illustrator, talked with an illustrator, or hated an illustrator, or something.
Yeah.
I read a thing where Lewis Carroll and an illustrator were both mentioned.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Cool.
But yeah, like
public domain is probably the answer there.
Probably pretty easy to write.
Easy to write, and I think we were trying to find a specific live action like mini series Alice in Wonderland that I remember as a kid, and you were just finding one like every year of the 80s, like a different series.
In the 80s, there were like at least 12 Alice in Wonderlands that came out.
Yeah.
One of them looks like a really fun anime.
Oh. And there was that Disney show, the Alice Through the Looking Glass, or the or Alice Adventures in Wonderland, the one that looks like Zoobilee Zoo.
Care Bears, Alice Adventures with the Care Bears.
So I think there's a little bit less of that, like, the only Cinderella that people really know is the Disney one. Like, well, there's other companies have diluted the.
Rodgers and Hammerstein has done, but yeah, Alice in Wonderland is like, you might say Disney if someone asks you.
Yeah.
But like, you might think about Johnny Depp. You might think about.
I mean, not in 1987, but yeah.
No, but
there's been enough. Yeah.
Yeah, you might have seen. You might think of that one where Whoopi Goldberg is the Cheshire Cat.
That's the one I was thinking
right?
of. Yeah, it's 1999 with Tina Majorino.
I feel like Martin Short, right?
Yeah, he's the Mad Hatter.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. That's a great part for Martin Short.
That actually is. As much as I dislike
Martin Short is a Mad Hatter.
Yeah, you put him in 5 minutes of a movie, you make him sing about hats.
Yeah.
Might be all right.
He'd be great at the You Like Hats song.
Oh, man, I'm mad about hats.
So, which one makes you like Alice in Wonderland more? If they're both different from the book.
Yeah.
Like, what...
Yo, I don't know.
What's your Alice in Wonderland after these two movies?
Oh, Disney's.
Still the Disney. Because, you've seen a bunch of times.
Yeah, and it's just in my head.
Yeah.
It's the one I know. And I know Care Bears isn't even trying.
It's not. It's not. That would probably be true for me, too.
Version of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know which book or which books... Mm-hmm. Because there's a couple of books.
There are two, and the Disney movie is a combination.
Yeah, and I don't know about the Care Bears because I don't know what book the Jabberwocky is in. I don't know. Yeah.
Fun fact: his name is the Jabberwock.
Oh.
The story is called Jabberwocky, and now it's been conflated. Jabberwocky has come to mean nonsense, and but the monster is called the Jabberwock.
Is bologna still food? Because that
it
also
never was
is
food.
nonsense. Oh, well
Boom.
played. Well played, Kate
like a
Phillips.
hot dog, not
well
real
played.
food.
Well.
Anyway.
Yeah. So let's. I think unless you've got anything else,
I don't.
Pressing. I think it's time to run into the final cut.
Right? Yeah.
It's fine.
Let's run into the final cut.
Let's run into the final cut.
Cut me.
Like
no.
people say. Run into the final cut.
Dick, scene shout me.
Ah! Oh, okay. Scene shout out?
Yes.
Which movie are we doing first?
Alice in Wonderland.
Great. I'll do the Disney one. Is that what you meant?
Yes.
Great. So the scene shout out, and we like alluded to this earlier, that I want to specifically talk about is there's a scene like towards the end where Alice is painting the roses red, and then the queen is coming, and all these cards come out, and there are like, I mean, I want to say like 50 or 100 animated cards on the screen at a time. It might be less than that, but it's a lot. And they're all moving like in unison, and they're all moving in a very particular way. And it took me a little bit to realize it was not CG.
Right.
Like, this is hand animated.
Yeah.
And like it reminded me of I talked about in Mulan during I'll Make a Man Out of You. There's a training sequence. And I'm pretty sure that's CG. But I mean, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But it like reminded me of that. But then I'm like, oh wait, this is 1951 or something. This is not CG. This is hand hand animated.
And it's cell animated, so they're not probably drawing every card every time. There's probably but it's still an incredible feat because it's so precise.
It's so good looking. Yeah. And so like so much detail and so much time must have gone into animating.
In the art direction, like the choreography of where are the cards going, how much space is there, what shape are they making? It's very cool.
And like, that was one of the moments where I was like, oh, they're using this story to try some stuff out.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I've been listening as a companion to our recordings.
Oh, yeah.
To a podcast called Inside the Disney Vault. Shout out to everyone there.
Shout in.
Oh, okay.
Inside the Disney Vault.
Shout. Hello. And I was listening to their episode on Alice in Wonderland, and they made the comparison between this movie and a lot of the kind of flyover movies of the mid 2000s of like Chicken Little, and we liked Meet the Robinsons. Not a lot of people did.
That's okay.
And I like it more than you. But like those kind of like Brother Bear and like those ones that people are like, oh yeah, that was a movie.
Yeah.
Where Disney was testing out a lot of their technology, like new stuff and like CGI, 2D hybrid and things like that. And so there's a lot of cool looking stuff in those movies.
Yeah.
But oftentimes when they do that, they kind of forget that there needs to be a really compelling story too. And to me, what you're describing with the, like, there were a lot of cool scenes like that. I think the card one is the most impressive by far, but to me, like, that's where the energy and the resources went into, where like the technicality, because even if it's, well, maybe this can be a more summative comment, but even if it's nonsense, I think there's a way to, so I'll actually transition into my scene shout out.
Real quick, this movie had 5 directors and 8 different writers.
That's
I'm
true.
I'm sure they knew what they were doing.
I mean, we were talking about Titan AE, right?
That is the sign of a movie that is going well. And
everyone must be on the same page.
And
single vision.
Yeah, single vision.
So actually, I'll go into my scene shout out because it's related to what I was about to say. One of the problems I had with this movie is like I almost wanted it to go darker and weirder.
Yeah.
Like it was just on the cusp of like I know there's not a narrative going on. You've made that clear. But now I need to be like spooked out or like I need to be thrown off.
Yeah.
And I think one scene that comes close, if not kind of achieves it, is that caterpillar scene where he's just like speaking in questions, and the smoke is coming out of his mouth and letters, and they're both asking a lot of existential questions like, well, who are you then? She's like, well, I don't really remember. Was I someone before I came in here? Like, and so it's very disorienting. The animation is like, it's not so frenetic. It's more deliberate and creepy, not in like a super dark I mean, not in a Johnny Depp, Tim Burton way, but it's like mystifying in a way that like turns you around. And I like that.
It seems to you a strange thing.
Yeah.
Mystifying.
Yeah. And so I like that. And I wish more scenes would have gone kind of that just weird, creepy kind of route.
Nice.
But I thought that was really well done.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Yeah. Solid.
Dick, you have a Care Bears scene shout out? It's already.
You know what I'm going to talk about. Kate.
Yes, Dick?
You like hats?
I'm not about hats.
It's like that's my favorite part of the movie. Were there other effective scenes? Yeah, probably. I don't know. Who cares? I'm gonna watch that Mad Hatter song as soon as we end this podcast.
Yeah. I'm gonna shout out that little scene where Braveheart is in a space helmet and you already know what's going on. It's so dorky, but as we've been saying, like we've now seen a lot of animated movies, good and bad, and I feel like you have to. There are so many like levels to adjust your director and storytelling telescope to, right? In a film that like you need to have a big picture, you need to know what's going on in each scene. And so little moments like that are non-traditional and just for like a gag, but they're not a traditional way of transitioning scenes. Yeah. That's so easy to get lost or to not think about at all because there's so many other things to think about on an animated movie. And the fact that that happened means that people are caring about all the levels and they're zooming back and forth between big and small.
You mentioned that we've watched some bad movies. Mm-hmm. You might even say that the movies we watch are often good.
Oh, they're often Disney.
But not always.
Often musicals.
But not always.
Often good.
But not always.
Sometimes we say that at the beginning of the episode,
we try to say that at the beginning of the episode.
In honor
sometimes
of
we say it right
non-linear
at the end.
Narrative. That was totally on purpose. You're welcome.
Thank you.
We're looking at the big picture. Where our telescope is zooming at all levels.
Yes,
it really is.
We're
doing
a special thingy.
We do a crossover segment on the final cut, but I explained it poorly to my co-host.
You explained it to me like 5 times before I understood this very simple concept.
I thought it would be interesting that we join forces for this crossover segment and basically create our cartoons in Wonderland dream team out of these 2 movies. So taking the Lewis Carroll characters that are in both of these movies and basically choosing a like who moves on to the crossover movie.
Nice.
So let's start with the White Rabbit because
the Mad Hatter from Care Bears.
Wait,
no. Okay, White Rabbit.
6th time I'll explain it.
Martin Short.
Oh no. So the White Rabbit.
Yeah. He's late. He sets things in motion, kind of. Disney White Rabbit.
I think so too.
Absolutely.
That's actually one of my favorite characters in the Disney one. He's lovely, bumbling.
He looks sharp. He's kind of adult. He's definitely adult.
He reverses his words around Willy Wonka style. It's fun.
White Rabbit in the Care Bears movie just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I don't like the way he looks. I don't like the way he is.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
Yeah. And the Disney one has some humor that not a lot of the humor in that movie made me laugh, but the White Rabbit always did because he would just stop whatever he's doing and be like, "I'm late," and never says where he's going, and it's just it. Anyway.
It's kind of a fancy lad. I like that.
Should we go with Alice next?
Sure.
Yeah, I guess. I don't really care about either Alice.
Yeah, she's kind of a Cosette. Doesn't really matter. You do whatever.
No Alice, just Wonderland.
That's right.
Dream Team. All right.
Wait. Us, the audience, are the Alice.
Care Bears. The Care Bears are the audience proxy Alice.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. We got Oh, the wizard is only in Care Bears. All right, we've got
Care Bears wizard then.
Tweedledee Tweedledum versus Dim and Dum, which are kind of, it seems, modeled off of the character Beastly from the TV series.
Here's the thing. Dim and Dumb, I think were not as successful as I wanted them to be.
Agree.
So I'm going to give it to Tweedledee and Tweedledum, who honk.
Yeah.
They got that going for them.
I think there's an argument for Dim and Dumb because they are through characters. They are working for the queen, which I think is interesting.
I thought they were working for the wizard.
Oh, yeah, they're working for the wizard. Sorry. Whatever it is. They're working for the villain.
Yeah.
Which is neat.
They have some fun. They have some fun moments.
Yeah, they have some fun bits where they do some robot stuff. Yeah, just in terms of classic, I guess the honk is fun. All right. So then we got the Caterpillar. We've got Disney, and we've got the stoplight guy.
Yeah, the traffic cop Caterpillar and Care Bear. Disney.
So I might be changing my choice on Dim and Dumb then.
Why?
Because I think they're more interesting.
Okay, do it.
Right? Like Tweedledee Tweedledum. I mean, they directly bring about my least favorite scene in that movie. So
that's fair.
So maybe we depart at this point.
Let's give that one to Dim and Dumb.
Your movie has Tweedledee.
You know what? Dim and Dumb remind me of the sisters from My Little Pony.
That is true.
And that wins them bonus points. Dim and Dumb.
Great. All right, we've got the Queen of Wonderland, who in the Disney movies, the Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
And in the Care Bears, she is the mother of the princess.
It's kind of a nice
who's kidnapped.
Mom.
She's just nice.
Wait, did we settle on a caterpillar?
Oh, the Disney one.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Queen of Hearts or Queen of Wonderland.
Yeah.
It's got to be Disney.
It's Queen of Hearts. Yeah.
She's a blast. Like
she is.
She's drawn like a little bit grotesquely, and I remember in my mind her being like a worse, meaner character that was like maybe like I don't know, but she was like she's sporty. She's like got a temper, but she's fun.
I think it's more of a product of like the Disney villains brand merchandising of the last couple decades. So I remember I had this CD-ROM computer game in the mid-90s.
Interactive CD-ROM.
Interactive CD-ROM. And it was...
It's from Jurassic Park.
I was looking it up. It's called Villain's Revenge. And it's a really fun game. It's simple, right? It's like Windows 95, so there's not much to it. But you face off against 4 of the old school villains: the Queen from Snow White, Captain Hook, the Ringmaster from Dumbo, and the Queen of Hearts. And in the video game, I remember her being very menacing, very scary. I think she has already cut off Alice's head, which is weird. Yeah.
That seems wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was not having really strong memories about this movie.
Wait, were you playing American McGee's Alice on accident?
Oh, no, the puppet, the stop motion.
No, that's Jan Svankmeyer's
baby doll one?
Alice.
Oh.
American McGee's Alice was like a dark video game from the late 90s, early 2000s.
I've seen a lot of grotesque Alice in Wonderland things in the last week. I don't need that.
You're welcome.
Anyway, so I thought she was more menacing, and she was more just kind of like fun.
Yeah.
In this movie, yeah,
she's a hoot.
Yeah, she wins that.
Yeah.
Dick. So there's a Mad Hatter in both movies.
So this is hard. I love the Mad Hatter song in Care Bears.
Yeah.
I love Ed Wynn as the Mad Hatter.
I mean, that's the most
in Disney.
Memorable part of the movie, right?
He's amazing.
He's great.
I will agree that this movie did not make me laugh out loud that much, the Disney one.
Yeah.
But Ed Wynn as the Mad Hatter,
yeah,
I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
Because even if the joke wasn't great, his delivery was impeccable.
So, I have a proposal. I like the voice actor of the Care Bears one, especially when he says, "You like cats?"
Yeah.
I think Ed Wynn could do that too.
I was going to say the same thing. I would love to hear Ed Wynn do this song.
So, Care Bears Mad Hatter, but with Ed Wynn's voice.
And guess what? We've got Ed Wynn here. And no? Oh, okay. We couldn't get Ed Wynn.
Back from the grave. because I do like this little gimmick of the hats give you different personalities.
They give you superpowers.
Yeah, that would have been fun to play with in the Disney one. So great, super crossover. And then the March Hare is only in the Disney one.
Disney.
So, and the Wizard is only in the Care Bears one.
I already said Care Bears.
Do you remember what she played croquet with flamingos in both? Is that what the flamingos were?
No, she like rode flamingos.
Oh yeah, they were like umbrella flamingos.
Yeah.
In the Care Bears one, she plays croquet with them. Yeah. In the Disney one. I mean, why not both? Right? Yeah. You could play croquet with an umbrella.
Are you just like...
It's like a transformer
flamingo. Are you
just
going to continue forgetting the main character of these movies?
Oh.
Yeah.
Can they be twin kitties?
Which Dinah is the superior Dinah?
I mean, the Disney one is pretty cute. Disney does animals real well. And say what you will about the rest of the movie, but this is a prime Disney animal.
Like, Disney does great animals, and this is a top-tier Disney cat.
It is.
We will eventually have a...
Screw you, Aristos.
We will eventually have, maybe next year, a March Madness of best animated kitty cats. But, yeah, like, Dinah in the Care Bears movie, pretty cute.
It's too bad that she's not in the movie. It's like Moana's pig. Like, no, well, I want to know more about you.
But, like, she's pretty good in the Care Bears movie. She's great. Yeah. Great in the Disney movie. Yeah. Top tier.
All right. So, Dream Team. Yeah. We got it.
Yeah. Kate, let me ask you this. You're going to look at these two movies. You're going to look at the people involved. Remember, again, 5 directors, 8 writers for Disney. You look at the characters, the situations, whatever. Yeah. Pick yourself out a most valuable one of those. An MVP, if you will. MV one of those.
An MV one of those.
MV something.
Yeah, I am going to go. I'm gonna go with the Care Bears Cheshire Cat. Okay. I think it's 1987, so this might have been one of the first cartoons to be like, we're gonna put a hip hop song in.
Pretty early for cartoon,
right? I don't think it's totally out of control yet at this point. So I think it's a little bit more innovative than it might seem now. I think it's done well. It's cool animation.
He's never here to say anything in a major way. He's like honestly,
he's never here to say.
For 1987 like hip hop.
I mean, that was happening in real hip hop in the 80s. Like that's how
So for Care Bears to do it well. Yeah. What?
He's animated well. Every time he comes back, like that rap is part of his motif, and so you're like, oh, he's back. And he gets the credits, and I don't even mind. Yeah. Care Bears Cheshire.
Nice.
What about you, Dick?
The wide range of greeting card stores across the country for allowing the Care Bears to come into existence through greeting cards.
They are,
which is what they did.
Yeah, it was greeting cards, then plush, then the movie, and then like TV specials.
Ridiculous, movie. Right?
It's you thought My Little Ponies was complicated.
I will give a real MVP though, and I'm going to give it to Ed Wynn. That man's voice is something special. It's so amazing, often imitated, never duplicated. Ed Wynn, voice of Mad Hatter and other things.
I love to laugh.
Ha 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 ho.
Yep. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, Ed Wynn, voice of Dick Van Dyke.
So, final cut is Alice in Wonderland, Disney 1951. Dick. Yeah. Did you re-release? Did you special edition? Did you chuck it in the vault?
All right. Here's what I do. Special edition. I call it the Kate edition. and I get when this movie did not do well in theaters, Walt was like, "Hey, cut it up, make it smaller, and we'll put it on TV." So it's like an hour-long version
for like Wonderful World of Disney.
Yeah,
right?
So it's like an hour or 50 minutes or something. I guess I released that so that you will watch this movie again.
Did we figure out what was cut?
No,
We'll figure it out.
we didn't
and post it.
We didn't do the research.
We
on
did
that.
not.
It's too hot.
It's too. Yeah,
I think this movie could be re-released and would be interesting to view again through a current lens. Obviously, legalization of pot probably makes this a more interesting viewing experience.
I mean, that's why it's become a cult favorite. It's because of the drug use parallels.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I think this movie could be viewed again, but I think some of the things that it probably did better in the early 50s, it does not do as well now. Like the absurdity is like, okay, like every episode of the Animaniacs was more absurd than this movie.
And funnier.
Well, yeah, that show was amazing.
It doesn't always hold up, but yeah.
Except for Rita and Runt. No, Rita and Runt was good. What's the other dog?
Oh, Chicken Boo is always awful.
Chicken Boo is rough. Good Feathers is always the same joke.
There's a lot. There was one Animaniacs.
Slappy Squirrel grew on me.
Yeah, only when the kid says spew. Yeah, we had like a Christmas compilation Animaniacs VHS that we like dusted off a few years ago at Christmas time. We're like, this will be great. It was a rough hour.
Oh man, we might have to watch Wacko's Wish for this show.
Wacko's Wish is different. No, this was just like their Christmas segments all packaged into one.
That sounds good.
And we didn't laugh. It was bad. Anyway.
But yeah, so what I said.
Yeah.
What about you?
Cut it up, CGI out Alice, and just like, I don't know, do Disney stores play clips anymore? There are Disney stores, but not that many of them. Like Disney store clips, or like between shows on the Disney Channel, or like, I don't know, mix them up.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question over here. What's the Alice in Wonderland ride?
So there are two.
There's one at Disneyland, right?
Well, there's teacups.
Yeah, there's teacups.
The spinning teacups are at both parks.
Spinning teacup ride. Great.
There's a ride at Disneyland.
There's a dark ride, right?
There's a recent Yesterworld video on it. It used to be a walkthrough, and now it's a dark ride.
I would like... Can I change my answer? Am I cutting you off? Were you finished?
No,
you go.
Anyway, cut it up. Show them as like 5-minute shorts. I don't want to ever see these together again.
Okay.
And you don't need Alice in it. That's kind of confusing if you're just showing it 5 minutes at a time. Take her out.
Take her out.
Take her out.
Take her out.
That's all.
I wanna ride. I want maybe a walkthrough experience. Maybe do it for like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween. Mm-hmm. Like it's not a like a fright house. What do you call them?
Haunted house.
It's not a haunted house.
An atomic family.
It's not a haunted house, but it's kind of like, yeah, an atomic family.
Nuclear, atomic,
but
fright
yeah, it's not
Words.
It's not a haunted house, but it's trippy and a little creepy and spooky, and like that'd be a fun. I'd walk through that.
I mean, I think if you're gonna do that, you make it nuts. You kind of do like a Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Go upside down, take that ride in circles. Like every room is a different physical effect.
Like go nuts with it.
So it disorients you.
Yeah.
Like that would be more to the spirit of the book, right?
It would be a really fun ride.
Yeah. It will have next time we're in Disneyland.
Ooh, we'll find
First
out.
time we're in Disneyland.
First time I'm in Disneyland.
We'll have to ride it because I didn't even like. I've just discovered that it was a ride in like the last month.
No.
Yeah.
So
what do you do with Care Bears?
Oh man, we've been talking a lot about the Hat song, and the energy of this Hat Man I love this voice actor. Do not get me wrong. I know we've already replaced him with Ed Wynn, but Ed Wynn's a legend. This energy of this hat man reminds me of a Disney parade that we watched. I think it was a Christmas parade, because this is the kind of people we are. It's like, oh, it's morning and we're a little
Christmas
hungover
or Easter,
and we're tired. Let's just put on a Disney parade. And Regis Philbin, who
hosted most of the 90s of Disney parades.
So it was probably Christmas, because I think they get like Richard Kind for Easter.
They only pull out the big guns
or Richard
for Santa.
Karn, or one
Richard.
One of those Richards.
Some Richard.
But Regis, every parade was very excited to be blown a kiss by Cinderella.
It was like his thing.
It was like, Cinderella, she blew me a kiss. But in one of the parades, it cuts to Cinderella, and Regis isn't saying anything, and then the camera like moves back, and he's like hanging on the back of her pumpkin carriage, and it's like a plastic, pumpkin or whatever.
Shell. It's like a Pope-mobile.
And you just hear thump thump thump, like he knocks, like, Cinderella, how are you?
Hey Cinderella, how are you? You like cats?
Yeah, exactly. So my special edition is, fix the first 20 minutes because they're really rough, and then put Regis in as the Hat Man, the Mad Hatter.
Yeah,
I'm good with words.
This I think would be a great indoor recess movie.
Yeah.
There are a lot of movies we watch that I'm like, I don't care about showing this to my kids at school. Like, either that or like, this is a very important movie. Like, I want to be with you when you see The Lion King. Like, and I want us to watch it undivided.
No, you all must be paying attention. We're creating memories.
We're creating memories here. This would be a really fun movie to watch 20 minutes at a time for a couple days in a row.
Yeah.
I would love to put this in heavy circulation in school indoor recess libraries. Mm-hmm. And so I guess it's a re-release. I guess that's what, but
it's a re-release
it's a
on
specific type of
clamshell
venue.
VHS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Nice.
The full thing is on YouTube, so you could just do that too.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the venue. I want kids to see it, but it doesn't need to be a big deal. Like just see it in 20-minute segments.
Yeah. Nice. All right.
Well, thank you again, Rachel.
Yeah.
This was an awesome find. Like, we knew about Alice in Wonderland. We did not know about the Care Bears. And
we did not know that we would like the Care Bears.
I'm kind of interested to see the other two movies. Oh, no, you're shaking your head vigorously.
Yes, you are.
But Rachel sent us a lot of ideas, and a lot of them we will get to. And if you might not be able to out-title Rachel.
But hey, it's not about that. We don't pick favorites.
Yes.
Well,
if you have movies you'd like to see together, if you have a single movie that you're like, they need to talk about this, and you want us to pair it or have some suggestions, please share those with us. We love to hear from you, and we love to get ideas and have our horizons broadened.
Yeah.
Dick,
and I would love to talk about Horizons, the amazing ride at Epcot that
once
closed
it becomes
like 20 years ago.
An animated feature film.
And by the way, I do want to say we don't pick favorites, but Superfan Brit is kind of slacking right now.
Well, Superfan Brit we did an episode by her first.
No, and she gave us Winnie the Pooh, another movie that we were like, I don't know, is this going to be good? Oh no, it's our favorite thing now.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, is that all the suggestions we've gotten so far.
Please keep recommending us stuff that it turns out we love.
I won't blame Serena for Shark Tale.
I will.
We were going to do that anyway.
No, I blame Serena. No, it's
but it was an interesting watch.
It was. And some interesting insights, I think.
But yeah.
Speaking of insights, if you have insight suggestions or just want to like email us and be like, you pronounced something wrong, Pilgrim.
Probably.
Which I did. You can email us at cellmatespodcast@gmail.com.
We promise we'll check it more often.
Yep.
You can Twitter us at Cellmates Podcast.
You can Facebook us at Cellmates Podcast.
And that's all.
Oh, we got a website.
Or if you're a friend of one of us,
We've got a website. It's called soulmatespodcast.com.
Oh, we sure do.
That's true. You can listen to the episodes on there. But you can also listen to them on iTunes, Stitcher. Thanks, Rooney.
Friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast.
If you have any
friends.
podcast applications that you'd like us to expand to, that's another thing you can use these social media.
And when you're on those podcast applications, is there anything you can do aside from listening to these episodes?
I mean, you can like us. You can give us a review.
Yeah,
you can
give us a rating
stars.
and a review.
That would be great.
Yeah. Especially on iTunes, because that's the one that seems to matter. Or Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts.
Whatever it's called
right.
now.
It's not, that's not a thing.
Anyway.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, for Cellmates Podcast.
I'm Kate Phillips.
I'm Dick Ward. And I'm mad about hats.
You like them? Bye.
Quiere hats? Quiere sombreros?
Well, it would be gusta. That's a reflexive verb. It's too long.
Okay.
You like hats?
Gusta sombreros?
He'll work on it.
Spanish.
Adios.
That means bye. On the count of 3, because we cannot afford to have me waste time.
No.
You are going to turn off the air conditioner and do the intro.
Great.
It's going to beep.
Yeah.
So let it beep first.
Yeah. It's going to wind down too.
Yeah.
I'll wait. All right. We are recording though?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Beep.
Beep.